It's a fun game. A lot of people call it, it's like almost like a redneck golf. You got your skeet and your trap, those very structured games, but sporting clays, you get to drive around, see different target presentations. Yeah, see neat country.
This is San Antonio, Texas, home to the National Shooting Complex. And here they have the National Sporting Clays Association National Championships. This is an event attended by shooters from all over the country and really all over the world. Sporting clays is one of the most dynamic games you can participate in safely and legally with a firearm.
This week is the 2025 National Sporting Clays Championship. This is the culmination of our whole year. This is like our Super Bowl. We've got shooters from all over. We've got 49 states here. We've got 17 countries. There's just a ton going on, and this is actually the largest sporting clay shoot and clay target event in the world.
There are lots of reasons why I love sporting clays. One, I love being outside. That's a really big factor. Just being able to breathe fresh air and get out on the course, it's a very relaxing time for me. It's also a very social sport. I'm a very social person. I love meeting new people. There's great camaraderie. The shooting community is super welcoming. It's also a really big challenge, right? Sporting clays is not necessarily the easiest, but you can learn at your own pace. You can still participate in sporting clays as a beginner with more experienced shooters at the same time. You don't end up bringing down the squad or bringing down the group depending on your level. Everybody can shoot together at the same time, no matter your ability.
My dad and I got into sporting clays because we wanted to become better at quail hunting. And so we went out to the sporting clay field and saw we could shoot as many birds as we want. There wasn't a limit. And for me, it's just something enjoyable that I got to do with my dad at a young age. And it's such an enjoyable game that you can do for your entire life.
NRA is fully committed to shotgun sports. NRA is the title sponsor here, the National Sporting Clays Championship. We're a title sponsor of the World Skeet Shoot. You can find us at the Cardinal Center in Ohio. You can find us at the Grand American. I mean, shotgun sports are one of the fastest growing recreational sports out there in the shooting world. There's a lot of places where you can shoot trap. There's a lot of places you can shoot skeet, and sporting clays is growing faster than all of them. So NRA is fully committed to that. We want to make sure you have the right to use traditional ammunition. Our friends across the pond who come to the United States to shoot all of the time, they're facing bans on lead ammo, and everyone knows what that would do to this sport. So it's critically important to protect that. It's critically important to grandfather in our gun clubs so they're not being harassed by HOAs that bought the farm next door. We want to make sure this heritage and everything that we enjoy here, particularly at this event, can continue, and NRA is behind protecting that.
We've got over 2,600 competitors this year, which 560 of them are first-timers. So we're really excited about that. We're gonna throw somewhere close to 1.9 million targets over the course of these 9 days. We've got about 280 machines out there. We're on about 700 acres here in San Antonio. So this event takes up majority of this property.
Typically what you'll do is you'll get squatted up, and there's different rotations. The one that I'm shooting is gonna be across 4 days, and every day I'm gonna shoot 75 targets, and then that's gonna be your 300 target total score. But there's a minimum target requirement so that you can shoot your class and your ability level, and that's gonna range from master class all the way down through D. And so even if you're a novice shooter and just started shooting this year, you can shoot your minimum target requirement. You look in the NSCA rule book and it tells you what that is, and you can come down and shoot your class. And so don't feel like you have to be a pro to come here and shoot. Those pros are here, but this is for everybody.
Every range we go to, the backgrounds are different. All the target setters, every day they're trying to find unique ways to challenge us with the targets, and that's what helps us progress on our journey. You've really got to just stick with it. Everybody, I do not care who you are, the best of the best are still learning. They're still being challenged, and all of us have to go on that personal journey of, recognize there's days when, okay, I understand, I just don't have my game today, and it's okay. And other days you're on fire and you think you're invincible. It's a sport you can have for life.
Well, the great thing about Nationals is it's open to everybody. All you got to do is be an NSCA member. You sign up to be a member and you can come down. So we've got members that have been members for 6 months that said, hey, I'm all in, I want to come see this. And we've had members since the inception of the sport that are still coming here. So it's for anybody and everybody of all levels. The best shooters are here, but also a lot of new shooters that just love the game are here.
So this is the single biggest event of the year for BNT. This is what everything comes down to. We love the US Open, we love the regional, we love all our pro staff and all of our coaching clinics, but this is the Mecca. This is where everything for the US is decided. So this is our home field, we love it.
I grew up learning how to shoot. Watching my dad coach the youth is how I got into this sport. So I was 5 years old watching 9-year-olds get taught. And I just knew that I loved it. And so as soon as I turned 9, I was competing. And then I guess you could say the rest is history. Karen, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'm like, I don't know, I just want to shoot a shotgun. And I think it's just practice that it takes, the hard work that it takes, but also the technicality of it. It's an art, you know, moving the gun, matching the target speed, watching the target break, and just going out there and seeing all of that hard work come together. And sometimes that comes together and you still don't win, but that continues to make you push to work even harder.
At the Sporting Clays Nationals, there are thousands of shooters, shooting at every level from beginner all the way to the top masterclass competitors competing for a win. So you don't hear a lot about the National Rifle Association and the shotgun sports, but we're there. We support coaches, we support basic safety training, and we support events like the National Championships for the NSCA.
NRA has been a sponsor for many years. We've been working with John Comerford, who's very heavily involved in the NRA, has been on our board. He's actually been our past chairman, sat on the EC, and they want to contribute and be a part of this. They're actually the sponsor of our House on their Hill, our hospitality, where we invite all of our first-timers, all of our range owners, our sponsors and vendors that are here, because, you know, the sponsors and vendors what help make this event happen. You know, our affiliation with organizations like the NRA and all of the other ones, we've got about 60 vendors here. So this event's not just about the shooting, it's also people are coming here to shop. Any wares that you want to find, if you're looking for a gun, ammo, eye, ear protection, any accessory, National Championship, you'll find it.
If you don't have a Sporting Clays range next to you, you can start with skeet, you can start with trap, and then you can move up the Sporting Clays. You can go to the NSCA, National Sporting Clays Association website, and find a range. You can go to NSSF and find a range as well. And quite frankly, in today's day and age, Google and Facebook are actually, can be incredibly frustrating, but can be good resources to find a range near you to where you can go shoot. If you haven't shot before, I'd recommend to go to the range, ask for instruction. A lot of ranges will have a new shooter program. You can easily find instructors. You can find NRA shotgun instructors who will get you acquainted to the sport and make sure you have the most fun as possible and safely.
You need help, usually every Sporting Clays club's got people that are there to help you, and once you break that first target, you're hooked for life, I promise you.
One piece of advice that I'd give people starting in clays is start with a good foundation. Get with a coach, someone that you look up to, someone that you've watched move the gun. And so start with good foundation because you will never outgrow the fundamentals. That's something that we continue to use each and every day that we go out.
The fit of a shotgun for a shooter is very important because shotgun shooting is a dynamic sport. You know, rather than a static sport like rifle shooting or pistol shooting where the target isn't moving. So the gun needs to have a great degree of dynamics in terms of the way it moves, and it has to fit the shooter in order to be able to achieve that. So fitting a shotgun can be as simple as some minor modifications to an existing gun off the shelf, or it can be as sophisticated as making a special stock from a piece of wood to meet the unique considerations of the particular shooter.
I love shooting targets that are flying through the air, giving targets the lead. It's so much fun when you see a target that's maybe 50, 60 yards and it's gonna need 8 to 10 feet of lead, and you got to get way out in front of it and trust yourself. And it's kind of like a quarterback throwing to a receiver, where you don't look at the gun, you want to look at the target. You don't look at the ball, you look at your receiver, and you just allow the shot to connect with the target just like you would if you were throwing a pass to a receiver in football.
When I first started, I knew nothing about it. So I remember what it was like to be in that situation and not know. It's definitely a journey, it's definitely a process. You can't learn it all at once. But the community, I can't emphasize that enough. The shooting community is awesome. The Fish and Game program that I went through was really, really helpful in helping me pick out equipment for the first time, what kind of gun I might need to look into buying, what kind of ammo I might need to buy, because there's a lot of questions when you first start.
It's not a game about being who's tall, who's fast, who's in good shape. No, this is for anybody and everybody. Just anybody that likes to go out and enjoy themselves and want to challenge themselves to do something different. Because we also see a lot of people that when they get ready to retire or they're looking for a new hobby, they come and try this. And they're just really excited once they get out there and get that thrill of competing and doing something. And most people will never, majority of, as I said, we got 39,000 members, but we only have 2,600 here. But most of them will just compete at their local club, and that's great. You know, the only people they want to beat is their buddy in the golf cart with them. That's their person that they want to beat. So that's what this sport allows you to do.